my name is Ernest Schmidt, and I just wanted to go over a second anxiety quote that I find useful to talk about, and also wanted to share a few tips about managing anxiety that go along with this quote. So it's kind of a fun quote. It's from Yoda from the Star Wars. But I thought it was interesting. The quote is, "Named must your fear be, before banish it you can." So this is from Yoda. I think he speaks kind of in backwards. But basically what the concept is kind of naming your fear. So a big thing with working on anxiety, and here at Palo Alto Therapy, we're pretty focused on anxiety and fear and working on trying to reduce it when it's reasonable. This is a really important concept that we can't kind of drill home enough. And I do this personally when I'm struggling, if I'm trying to give counseling to my clients or just people that that I care for, is really trying to isolate specifically what we're afraid of. So for instance, in this day and age with currently we're dealing with the virus and kind of this uncertainty of the times, it's really trying to figure out, first we want to embrace it and acknowledge that fear and anxiety is normal. It's okay to have these irrational thoughts or rational thoughts that are scary. Uncertainty does provoke a lot of just different emotions and feelings. And so we never want to judge that. We just want to kind of appreciate that, accept it, and that actually can make it become a little less distressing. But when we also decide that we want to do something about it, we want to be more action focused, then we really advise writing these things down. So not only are we trying to specifically define what it is we're afraid of. So this thing like, well, gosh, I'm just afraid of, what the change is going to be. How will it impact me? We try to make sure that we have our clients specifically figure out, well, what is it that I'm most afraid of? We're most likely not afraid of something positive happening or positive change. So it's almost always sort of a negative thing that we're looking for. And whether it feels rational or unreasonable, we try not to stop that from writing it down. We don't want to judge or filter what we're afraid of. Otherwise that defeats the purpose. And usually we'll convince ourselves, oh, I'm not afraid of that. But that's not typically the truth. Usually when you just try to write down the worries that you're having, what you're specifically kind of afraid of, even if you don't really believe it's true, but it's in your mind, it's super helpful. And it also gives us kind of a game plan as to what do we do? How do we actually interact with our worries? How do we specifically reduce our fear? Well, we have to label it. We have to define it. So this is what we do in our coaching and our counseling, is just writing specifically what you're afraid of. I'm afraid of, losing my employment. I'm afraid of not having enough money to support my children. I'm afraid of the restaurant industry completely closing and losing my social engagement, my social enjoyment. So those kind of things, writing those things down, and then we can learn to interact a little bit differently with our thoughts. So hopefully that was helpful. I'll be talking more about this in future videos. Just to recap the quote, basically it's again from Yoda, "Named must your fear be, before banish it you can." So that's the same concept of identifying it, very being specific, writing it down, interacting with your thoughts and your beliefs, and then that gives you the chance to really work on the emotional reaction. So hopefully that was helpful. Feel free to send in your comments, suggestions. Those kind of thoughts are helpful for us to hear if this is useful to you, and it motivates us to keep providing hopefully good content. All right, thank you.